Hi, I'm Dr. Fox, and for this video, for BPD Awareness Month, we are going to revisit BPD subtypes. We're going to revisit these subtypes in this video, and I'll put a link for the original video at the end of this one. A subtype is a different presentation or form of an idea or concept. Now, for our purposes, for BPD, is a general term we use for this disorder. Okay? And so BPD is this general term that underneath you have these four subcomponents, these four subtypes. Okay? And the subtypes are specific to presentation and form of BPD, and we'll talk about how they relate to each other, and perhaps in how they relate to BPD after we describe the four types. So the first type is discouraged, or it's called a discouraged or quiet borderline type. And these individuals are clingy, they'll often follow the crowd, they have a higher degree of dependency, and that is sort of dependency on others, not necessarily chemical dependency. The next type is an impulsive BPD type, and this is a flirtatious, coquettish, captivating, can be elusive, superficial, they're thrill seekers in a lot of cases, very highly energetic. The next type is a petulant BPD. For petulant BPD, they're unpredictable, irritable, complainers oftentimes, and very impatient. They're petulant, they have that sense of petulance to them. And the fourth type, is that self-destructive BPD. Now for self-destructive BPD, these folks are impulsive, indecisive, they tend to vacillate between apologetic, submissive to stubborn, resistant, right? So they easily give in, or they're more like your pouters, right? That's my pouting face. Now, these are overlapping in many cases. It's not that you'll fall into one distinct category, and they can be situational or specific to an individual that you're around. Perhaps it's at work, perhaps it's at home, perhaps when you're alone. So just recognize that these different subtypes can manifest in different situations. We're not all going to fall into one nice and neat, quiet borderline subtype. So please recognize that. And I think that was a big confusion in the first video, is that people were under the idea, okay, this is my type, so this helps me gain a little more insight into my specific type. But then it caused confusion because, let's say, they're quiet borderlines with their family, right? Borderline personality sort of subtype. I don't want to say all that, but when I just describe it, I'm not describing people by their disorder. I don't believe that we should do that. So I'm just using it as an illustrative purpose here. So that folks that when they're home, they're like, oh, well, I'm quiet borderline at home, but at work, or when I'm with friends, I'm self-destructive BPD or impulsive BPD. Okay. So just recognize that it's not just one that is consistent across all contexts. First, identify which subtype or which subtypes, right, are most prevalent for you, and start there. Then try to pair this with the situations or with your core content. Talk a lot about core content, right? Because it's so important to know what are those factors underneath that drive those maladaptive behaviors and patterns. Okay, and building that insight is so important. Okay, and understanding your subtype can be part of that surface structure behavior. Okay, so it's important to know that. Now let's explore what we know so far. Okay, so what's the benefit of learning about those BPD subtypes? Well, this can help you build insight, not only to the situations, but individuals that may be triggers or emotional buttons for you. Okay, this can help you recognize issues to open up possibilities to do things differently for yourself, and help you use adaptive patterns as opposed to falling back to those maladaptive behaviors and patterns. Okay, this can also help you identify the situations and people, as I just mentioned, right, that really kick off some of that core content for you. So it's important to know that, because then you're like, okay, I'm going to be around Steve today, and I know that Steve knows where my button is, and he pushes it, and that really drives me to react to him in a self-destructive BPD manner, because maybe Steve is your boss, right? So you don't have a choice. You got to hang out with Steve, or you got to see Steve, and Steve's probably not a nice guy. Okay, so that could drive you to self-destructive because you don't want to lose your job, because you got a family and stuff, so you can't punch Steve in the head, which we don't want to punch anybody in the head, right? But you can't do that, so what do? Then it goes inward, okay? And maybe you harm yourself. So that can be a component of self-destructive BPD. Now, just understanding these subtypes is just that first step to understanding yourself and understanding BPD and where it is and how it manifests in your life. And it's important to understand that. It's important to try to build that awareness. If you're interested in learning more about subtypes, my workbook has recently been released, so that's exciting. You may be interested in checking that out. There is a whole chapter on subtypes, how to identify your subtypes, and it'll help you bring you through the treatment process of gaining greater understanding and control of these subtypes and of BPD overall, so you can build a sense of mastery over it and get a sense of control, and it is possible to do that. I hope that you found this video helpful, and I got a lot more coming out this month, posts and videos and all kinds of stuff for BPD Awareness Month. And thank you all for your time and attention. I appreciate it, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.